U.S. home sales are in the dumps and the slumps. It's bad. Iran halts all communication with the U.S. And AI is the new scam callers. This is current events for today, June 2nd, 2026. This is the foundation. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. And I appreciate you checking out the show. Sorry, I was gone for a minute, but let's do our dance. We're gonna jump right into it. Be sure to check out welcometothefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. Sorry, I had to turn that light out. It was all in my eyes. Sign up for the email list at the very least. If you would be so kind, right there on the first page, let's check out silver. Oh, you know we have an ad blocker. You know. Go ahead, refresh that. Silver. Currently at the young price of $74.98, 99 cents. It's been trading sideways pretty much since Tuesday. You know, dollar cost average, $25, $50, $100 every 2 weeks, every month. Take that currency, grab as much silver as you can. Shanghai, spot price, Eastern spot prices, $83.66 per ounce. Western spot prices, $74.99. Yeah. It was wider last week. You wonder what's going on. Let's jump into this. Whoops. What was that? US. We don't need to know that. We need to know this. Iran halting all indirect talks with U.S. over Israel's Lebanon incursion. I saw some stuff on social media. I mean, I don't know. You can't really confirm this stuff, but, you know, Netanyahu said that he was going to ignore what Trump was talking about, and they're just going to keep bombing. But who knows? Iran is halting indirect negotiations with the U.S. after Israel ordered troops to push deeper into Lebanon to battle Tehran-backed Hezbollah. The Iranian news agency Tasnim said yesterday, complicating diplomatic efforts to end the 3 months of war. The move poses a further obstacle to hopes of a swift end to the crisis after Iran said it had attacked U.S. airbase following weekend U.S. strikes on Iranian military targets that put further strain on a fragile ceasefire. Oil prices rose more than $5 a barrel. After the Tasnim report, U.S. President Donald Trump had earlier reiterated on social media that he believed Tehran wants to reach a deal, but hopes of a breakthrough were tempered by comments by Iranian officials criticizing the constantly changing U.S. negotiation stance. Listen, I just think Trump is doing all this stuff for the markets. I don't think it's sincere. I don't think this quote, 3 months war, 2 week war, 1 week, 4 days war, however long he says it's going to be, I don't think this is ending anytime soon. I think, Iran has too much control, economic power with regards to that strait, and I don't see this ending anytime soon, but they're not talking anymore. U.S. consumers' savings buffer is gone. As corporate America continues to ride the AI boom, huge swaths of the U.S. population are struggling to keep up with savings levels plunging. This widening chasm could have serious political ramifications for President Donald Trump. However, you described the inequality issue, K-shaped economy, half of the economy is, the wealth is rising and the other half is lowering. Two-speed economy, haves and have-nots. It is clearly getting more pronounced. 2 data points last week put this in a stark relief: personal savings and corporate profits. The personal savings rate fell to a 4-year low of 2.6% in April. It has halved in the past year, and excluding the single month of June 2022, is now the lowest since 2008. Zoom over further, and one can see just how flimsy U.S. consumers' savings cushion really is. Aside from 20 months in 2005 to 2008 period, consumers' savings rate has been lower since comparable records began in the 1950s. What's more, inflation, boosted by the ongoing energy price squeeze, is now outstripping wage growth for the first time in 3 years. The rapid rate, at which Americans are running down savings to maintain spending simply can't last. At the same time, some closely watched measures of consumer confidence have also dropped to the lowest on record. So it's reasonable to assume that household consumption, the biggest and most important pillar of the economy, could soon come under intense pressure. Did you guys know that the most important pillar of the economy is consumer spending? We are in a consumer-based economy. That's not good. I don't think it's good. Quote, I don't think that these trends are economically or politically sustainable, says economist Phil Suttle, who went on to say, quote, how they get resolved is an open issue, but in my view, both profits and consumption have significant forward-looking downside risk, end quote. Profits, downside risk, consumption. Consumers are going to stop purchasing a lot of things and then, get lower on purchases with other things. Key U.S. inflation measure posts largest annual increase in 3 years. It's getting reported everywhere. U.S. new home sales slump in April amid higher mortgage rates. The mortgage rates. Sales of new U.S. single-family homes fell in April as the boost from better weather faded and mortgage rates remained elevated. New home sales dropped 6.2% to a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 622,000 units last month. The Commerce Department Census Bureau said last Thursday sales were weighed down by winter storms in January before bouncing back in February and March as temperatures warmed up. Sales last month tumbled in the Northeast, South, and Midwest, but rose in the West. New home sales, which are counted at the closing of a contract, account for a small share of U.S. home sales and tend to be volatile on a month-to-month basis. They declined 11.3% on a year-over-year basis in April. The housing market has been constrained by higher mortgage rates. Mortgage rates dropped early this year as mortgage finance agencies Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae expanded purchases of mortgage-backed securities. But they reversed course after the U.S. and Israel began a war with Iran in late February. The average rate on the popular 30-year fixed rate mortgage jumped from 5.98%, might as well be 6%, in late February to 6.46% at the start of April. Data from Freddie Mac showed it averaged 6.3%. She needs to stop. Stop it, lady. Jesus. My ADD couldn't handle it. It couldn't. I'm sorry, where was I? There I was. It averaged 6.3% by the end of the month and climbed to 6.51% last week. With sales slumping, new housing inventory increased to 489,000 units in April from 481,000 units in March. And I mean, most people can't even afford a home. So, look, he's smiling. He loves it. Treasury Secretary Bassett, I don't know how y'all say that. Was three times. Confirms limited steps towards a $250 bill featuring he said Thursday. Scott Bessent, Secretary Treasury, said last Thursday that his department has prepared the design for a $250 bill featuring President Donald Trump, anticipating the passage of stalled legislation in Congress to put the president on a new denomination of legal tender. Bassett said at the White House that authorizing the new currency will be up to lawmakers on Capitol Hill, but that, quote, we've created the bill, end quote, because, quote, we have to be prepared, end quote. The secretary downplayed the idea that the administration is pushing the matter, despite Trump's penchant for infusing his name and likeness across the nation's capital and into the observances of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Yet, he also insisted there is nothing inappropriate about Trump's visage being part of the Seminole Nation celebration. I don't know. I guess if he's the president during the anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence, then I don't know. I'm not in the executive branch of that government. Ex-CIA official charged with, stop this, stealing millions of dollars in gold bars from the federal government. What? Yeah, I'm just gonna say that was that's gangster, man. That's gangster. A former senior CIA official with top secret level clearance is accused of stealing hundreds of gold bars worth more than $40 million from the federal government and stashing them at home. Do you think that this has anything to do with Trump saying he's gonna audit the Fort Knox and make sure the gold's there? Well, they've been stealing it the whole time. I don't know. I'm just talking. David Rush was arrested and charged with criminal theft of public money last week, according to federal court filings in Virginia, where he lives. From November to March, Rush requested and received a, quote, significant quantity of foreign currency and tens of millions of dollars in gold bars for work-related expenses, end quote, according to an affidavit from an FBI agent investigating the case. The affidavit says it's unclear what Rush intended to use the funds for, but that a portion of it was found in a storage space near his office. Federal officials searched his home on May 18th and seized more than 300 gold bars, man, with an estimated value of more than $40 million. This is according to the affidavit. They also seized roughly $2 million in U.S. currency and some 35 luxury watches, many of them Rolexes. Rush was arrested the next day, the FBI said. The FBI affidavit concludes that there's a probable cause to believe that Rush, quote, knowingly embezzled, stole, purloined, or knowingly converted a thing of value of the United States, end quote, for his personal use. The FBI said it was working with the CIA and Department of Justice in its investigation. Rush's lawyer declined to comment. It's not clear what the role Rush had at the CIA or when he left the agency. He's described in court filings simply as, quote, former senior executive service level employee at a United States government agency, end quote. Spokespersons for the FBI declined to comment further, and the CIA did not respond to an email. Of course they did. And also, the affidavit also notes that Rush appears to have lied for years about his education and military background. Yo, hold on, wait. CIA? I mean, Central Intelligence Agency. So you mean the they didn't have this intelligence? Yo, come on, man. Lied for years about his education and military background. The Bureau's investigation found he had falsely claimed to be a Navy pilot. Where's y'all intelligence agency? And that he graduated from Clemson University in South Carolina and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York. Maybe that's not how you say that, but I tried. Instead, they found he had enlisted in the Navy in 1997 and then served in the U.S. Navy Reserves from 2004 until 2015, when he was honorably discharged as a lieutenant. The affidavit states he does not appear to have underwent any evaluations as a pilot during that time, and he did not attend either college. Russ is being held in custody pending a hearing. Man, that's bad intelligence. This is the jobs AI is likely to boost and those it may disrupt. Look, beyond all the crap, right? Let's just look at this chart. Look how close that these lines were prior to the launch of, so this line right here is the launch of ChatGPT. You see it? It's a dotted line going straight up and down. And then you see these lines, right? Industries with AI substitution scores, industries with AI augmentation scores, and other, right? So obviously this is the industries with high AI substitution. Look at that. And they're saying AI is not going to take your job. And these were all pretty much on the same trajectory. This purple magenta one, it's not purple, it's magenta. This magenta one, obviously, right? by February, they were implementing artificial intelligence. And this is other, right? Oh, what is other? And then they're going to show this score. Bottom line, and they're trying to say, well, the aggregate impact of AI on jobs in the past year has likely been smaller than those numbers indicate. However, that's because the estimates don't fully capture the offsetting effect of hiring for data center construction or incremental labor demand generated by AI-related productivity, income gains, paying rights. So a lot of these numbers are saying, oh, it's not taking jobs because these jobs, it's giving jobs. Well, to build the data centers and to, set everything up. But then after that, where's the job? They talk about the jobs that benefit from AI. I don't know. I just want to show you this. Look at this, man. And this is what we knew. Oh, AI is not going to take your jobs. Well, yes, it is. Yes, it has. It already has. Meta cuts nearly 1,400 jobs in Seattle area, 20% of the local workforce in a sweeping AI revamp. Facebook parent company Meta is cutting 1,395 jobs in Washington state, about 20% of its local workforce, as part of a company-wide effort, eliminating about 8,000 positions as part of an aggressive push into artificial intelligence. I just took a little sip of my coffee for that one. Details of the Seattle area cuts were disclosed in a filing last Tuesday. The layoffs impact teams across the company, including those working on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, advertising, and infrastructure. The company employed roughly 7,000 people in the Seattle region before the cuts. Meta's office in Bellevue's Spring District is the hardest hit, with about 699 employees losing their jobs. So the local area has 699 employees that aren't going out for lunch. That's 699 employees that aren't, visiting the local shops in that area. This is it. It's gonna hurt. The changes we are implementing vary by team and include layoffs, open role closures, and moving thousands of employees to business critical priorities across the company. Well, you're also moving almost 2,000 employees back home. What happened? Oh, there it is. White House unveils Trump accounts mobile app ahead of July 4th rollout. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I don't know if if you're paying attention to the legislation and the stuff, but here comes the crypto. The White House announced on Wednesday, and this is just for the children, right? Okay, but this is how they get you. They're going to get you pets, elderly people, or children. The White House announced on Wednesday, this is last Wednesday, Trump accounts will drop a mobile app to track investments placed into children's accounts as part of the administration's new initiative. The Wall Street Journal first reported account activation will begin for those who have already enrolled. I think that's tomorrow. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's tomorrow. Or it was last week. But it's probably, I don't know. Y'all tell me. The app, which was designed by Joe Gebbia, that's 3 times, a national design studio in partnership with BNY and Robinhood, can be downloaded through Apple or Google starting Thursday. Okay, so that's probably tomorrow. Because you can download it last Thursday. Yeah, that's probably tomorrow. Starts tomorrow. Hurry up, y'all. I'm just playing. I'm not doing it. It will feature 8 exclusive financial literacy modules that families can immediately access, an initiative that officials told Fox Business is a top priority for Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I believe that this type of education should already be instructed in the home. We shouldn't have to wait on government. But hey, whatever. Hey, I don't know. At age 18, without any additional contributions, right? It is estimated the child's account will be worth $5,800. By age 55, a child's account without any additional contributions will reach roughly $200,000. I mean, by the time you're 55, by the time your child is 55, $200,000 will get you a notebook and 2 pieces of gum, probably. I mean, look at the prices right now. I don't know. Are y'all excited for this? This is the beginning. Here comes the digital assets and the digital payments and the Okay. Australia sues U.S. conglomerate 3M for $1.4 billion over forever chemicals contamination. The government, the whole country, the Australian government said last Thursday it had launched legal action against 3M over contamination from firefighting foam supplied by the U.S. company that contained PFAS, or forever chemicals, seeking more than 2 billion Australian dollars, which is $1.43 billion US in damages. The claim against the Minnesota-based chemicals maker. Did y'all know that 3M is based in Minnesota? The chemicals maker and its local unit is the largest ever brought by Australia, reflecting the past and future environmental, economic, and cultural costs of the contamination, the government said. Quote, make no mistake, this legal action against 3M is significant, end quote. Attorney General Michelle Rowland told reporters, who went on to say, quote, the Commonwealth is seeking more than Australian $2 billion in damages to recover significant past and future expenses incurred in investigating and managing contamination resulting from the historical storage and use of this foam. The government, which used the firefighting foam at 28 defense bases across the country, alleged 3M gave assurances the substance was safe to dispose of, biodegradable, and non-toxic. Oh man, I'm sorry to laugh, because that's not cool. That's terrible for the earth, but I'm laughing because why would you ever believe a chemical company when they claim their chemicals are safe and biodegradable and non-toxic? But 3M withheld its own testing showing, quote, significant adverse environmental effects associated with its use. 3M said in a statement it would defend itself against the claims in courts. I mean, you have to. I think that's what you have to do. You have to defend yourself. If you're being sued, you become a defendant. Quote, 3M has never manufactured PFAS in Australia and ceased sales of the products at issue in Australia around 2 decades ago. Okay. This might get a little, interesting. Despite this, the Department of Defense continued to use PFAS containing firefighting foams for nearly 2 decades longer. Known as forever chemicals, PFAS do not naturally break down in the environment, raising concerns about their accumulation in ecosystems, drinking water, and the human body, which I read in a report that apparently we all have microplastics in our body. Wonderful. How to protect yourself and your loved ones from AI scam calls. AI tools. Look, you answer a random call from a family member and they breathlessly explain how there's been a horrible car accident. They need you to send money right now, or they'll go to jail. You can hear the desperation in their voice as they plead for an immediate cash transfer. While it sure sounds like them and the call came from their number, you feel like something's off. You should. So you decide to hang up and call them right back. When your family member picks up your call, they say there hasn't been a car crash and that they have no idea what you're talking about. Congratulations, you just successfully avoided an artificial intelligence scam call. Or you unsuccessfully avoided it and you got artificially intelligent scammed. As generative AI tools get more capable, it is becoming easier and cheaper for scammers to create fake but convincing audio of people's voices. These AI voice clones are trained on existing audio clips of human speech and can be adjusted to imitate almost anyone. The latest models can even speak in numerous languages. OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, recently announced a new text-to-speech model that could further improve voice cloning and make it more widely accessible. Of course, bad actors are using these AI cloning tools to trick victims into thinking they are speaking to a loved one over the phone, even though they're talking to a computer. While the threat of AI-powered scams can be frightening, you can stay safe by keeping these expert tips in mind the next time you receive an urgent, unexpected call. And let me say this, due to the fact that my voice is all over, I did music for like 20 years. So lots of music. And I've been publicly doing the foundation for 10 years, but before the foundation, I was on another public program platform on High Frequency Radio Network with the co-host. So my voice is everywhere. So because of that, and because I'm very aware of this, I have, implemented all of this. And these are really good examples of what to do. So hang up and call back. That's number one. Hang up on them, call back. And if they say that they're bleeding and they might sound like they're crying, it doesn't matter. Hang up and call back. Security experts warn that it's quite easy for scammers to make it appear as if the call were coming from a legitimate number. Listen, I can do that. I know how to do that. I know how to build PBX servers, private branch exchange servers. I can do these with any computer that I want. Give me your old laptop, I can do it. Listen, I can get trunk. It's called trunk service. IP trunking service. I know you're gonna look it up, but this is crazy. This is not difficult though, right? So I can build a server that is a private branch exchange. So it allows for, if you think about like an office and it has one number to call the business, but there's a whole bunch of different offices and different people who have phones at their desk, and those are extensions, right? So a private branch exchange will allow for clients and customers to call one number and then, press 1, press 2, press 3. We've all used these things. We just don't know exactly what they are. I'm telling you what they are, right? I know how to set these up, right? And within the programming, within the code, I can tell it what number to produce on the caller ID. Any number. It doesn't matter what number. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And recently in the last few years, there's been a lot of restrictions and shutdowns, lockdowns with regards to this technology. But that doesn't matter. People who know how to do this stuff, like people like me, and I don't scam people. I just be in tech. I own a tech company, and marketing, access points, security cameras, point of sale systems, as well as phone systems, because those things run on networks. They're IP phone systems, internet protocol phone systems. So this is how I know about these things. But listen, I know how to make a thing from any computer, any laptop. It could be a small board computer, right? And connect it to one of those old Cisco office phones and stuff, and get on that thing and make calls. I don't have to do that. I can do it from the internet, like straight from the web browser, make a call, and then turn on the AI and have it start talking. Like, as soon as a program that we prompt the AI, right, to have certain responses and so on and so forth. So when I turn the AI on, it hears you and it responds to you. I'm not even saying anything. And it knows what to say because, listen, that's how easy it is. I'm not playing. People can do this in one day. It takes one day. Some people will probably take an hour to set this stuff up. Create a safe word. A popular security tip that multiple sources suggested was to craft a safe word that only you and your loved ones know about. And that's what I did. This is the main thing that I did. And, I told them to hang up. But anything out of the ordinary with my family, they're going to know what's up. But this is it. It's a safe word. It's a word that they request that I say if I'm sounding funny or if I'm asking for something or if it sounds weird, so they know it's me. And if it sounds like me, but I don't know that word or I don't say that word, they're supposed to hang up. And that's because this AI stuff is grand. It's on some grandstand. Quote, you can even pre-negotiate with your loved ones a word or a phrase that they could use in order to prove who they really are if in a duress situation. Although calling back or verifying via other means of communication is best, a safe word can be especially helpful for young ones and elderly relatives who may be difficult to contact otherwise. Or just ask what they have for dinner. And this isn't going to work because AI is going to get better than this, you know. Pause for a second and ask a personal question. It could even be as simple as asking the loved one, asking them only what the loved one would know the answer to. It could be, hey, I want to make sure this is really you. Can you remind me what we had for dinner last night? Make sure the question is specific enough. Okay, so that'll work. I thought they were saying asking them what they had for dinner. I guess the presupposition would be that they were together. Make sure the question is specific enough that a scammer couldn't answer correctly with an educated guess. Understand any voice can be mimicked. And don't give in to emotional appeals. That's the thing. The more crazy, the more abrupt the interruption, and the more emotional the caller is, that's all aimed at and manipulated to have you not think, get you in your fight or flight sense, scenario, aura, biology, whatever, and not use your mind, not ask questions. Watch my words. This is really bad right now. It's happening to CEOs, and they're not saying, like, they're not going to disclose it. Ransomware is really bad right now. It encrypts your files and then tells you got to send them Bitcoin or you can't get your files back. Companies are paying ransomware and they're not disclosing it. This right here is worse than you think. Please understand. Even the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, deepfake audio and video links make robocalls and scam texts harder to spot. They got some tips. Don't answer calls from unknown numbers, but we know that the calls can come from your actual loved one's number. Never give out personal information, account number, so on and so forth, over the phone. Don't ever do that over the phone. Don't ever do that over the phone. And then they send you the text and say, don't share this secret code. And they're on the phone trying to get you to share the secret code. Don't do it. If the caller claims to be a family member or a friend in distress, reach out to the person directly. If the caller claims to be a celebrity or political figure, start laugh at them, call them a herb, and hang up on them. If you get an inquiry from someone who says they represent a company or government agency, hang up and call the phone number on your account statement. I always ask them to, hey, can I have your number and extension? Let me give you a call back. I don't have time right now. I'm busy. I have to call you back. Do not respond to any questions, especially those that can be answered with yes. You may not be able to tell right away if an incoming call is spoofed. Spoofing tricks caller ID into showing a local number, but that does not necessarily mean it's a local caller. Debt collectors do that too. Just so you know. Yep. Yes, they do. Check the FCC consumer guide, blah, blah, blah. But, this is going to become more and more of an issue. Mark my words, it's going to become more and more of an issue because this stuff is just getting more and more sophisticated. I trust that y'all learned something, though. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. I appreciate you checking out the show. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace, y'all.